Good evening, everybody. Say hello as you walk in. Let me know where you're from. I'm trying to get to know where all my regulars, where all they live, right? So that when I do decide that I'm going to do my own little tour and travel the country, then I'll know where everybody is. Maybe I'll give you not like you want me knocking on your door, but you never know. Like I'll contact you and say, hey, I'll be driving because I just noticed. I don't know how I noticed, but Indiana is very very close to Toronto and I'm going there this spring. Like I don't know why I'm not taking like the route from the States. Mind you, those mountains were pretty beautiful. But I wouldn't want to be up there, I don't think, when it was all icy and snowy, right? But maybe the next time, like I can go through the States and then I can come up and around. And that way I can come and visit Andrew. But when you pop in, say hi. I just made I'm just freezing, like my hands, everything today, right? Just cold, and like I'm trying to put a plan of action together for tomorrow. Like I have one day to try and get some stuff done, right? To, you know, work at keeping a roof over my head and stuff. So if I have the opportunity to get a little bit ahead tomorrow, then I would like to get that done, because then we're into New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and then we'll be back into the weekend again, right? Yeah, so I've got to get some I got to get some stuff done. So that's what I was doing today. I was making lists. Oh, those are my mantras. Just trying to think of some good ones, right? You know, and you try and think about good things about yourself, right? You think of your good qualities, and then you think about your bad qualities. And I know some of the bad qualities I had, like I don't feel like I have them now, but I don't think either I've really been able to be in situations where I could actually test them out, right? You know, like if I get that rage, like when you go into the grocery store and people are bumping you with the shopping carts and huffing and puffing at you, and yeah, chasing you to the checkout stand, right? And I just like, oh, right. But I haven't gone really to the grocery stores or anything, like I go, when I need something, I'll just pop in real quick and grab what I need, but to actually take a walk around the store. And I should do that, just to get out and stuff. But yeah, the thing is, when it's winter like this, when I dress up to go for my evening walks and stuff, I put my snow pants on and my big winter coat and scarf. So I'm bundled up pretty good. So if I go into a grocery store or something, then yeah, it only take me 30 seconds and I'll be sweating and stuff, like really, really sweating. So that when I go outside to that -40, mind you, we haven't hit the -40 yet. We've gotten to minus 20s. It's been pretty nice the past couple of days, right? It just started snowing about an hour and a half ago, so we're expecting quite a bit of snow. I sold my snowshoes today. I'm trying to do whatever I can, right? Do whatever I can, but if that means I have to sell some things, yeah. And it's really funny because my car got broken into last year, and I had just bought a pair of snowshoes, right? And they stole my snowshoes. So, oh, okay, well, whatever. I needed my snowshoes, right? Because I like to be out. I like to be outside in the wintertime, right? And I expected I was going to be doing some winter explores and stuff. So I just went right out and spent that same amount of money all over again for another brand new pair of snowshoes. And that was just last fall. And then, today I sold them. Yeah. I do these things. I get these ideas in my head. And at the time, I think they're great ideas. And they could have turned into great ideas. But Yeah, I didn't follow through. I hope I don't miss those. I hope I don't miss those snowshoes. Hi, Andrew. I was just saying the next time I go to Toronto, right? If I go to another workshop or something, that maybe I could go the States way, because I didn't realize that Bloomingdale was that close to the Canadian border. It's not that far away from the Canadian border, is it? I like birds. It doesn't matter if they're crows or whatever. I love birds. I don't know. So far this winter, I don't know. I've never had it before, but I've got a tree of chickadees only one or two houses away. I've tried to spot them, but they're so small when they're in the trees and they're just singing away. You sometimes don't even know they're in the trees. And when chickadees, they get together, they're not getting together with, three or four birds. There's like 100 birds, right? The whole flock is inside the tree, right? But you won't even notice because the branches won't move or anything, but you can hear them singing, right? Oh, it's so, I wish I could like take the camera and turn it around so you can see. Like I have a big picture window here, right? So, and the snow is big, beautiful flakes now. So this for sure is the staying snow. Like I said, we've had a past couple of days, we've had some really nice mild weather, and we've had a little bit of melt, and I have gotten out and gotten some walks in and stuff. Gotten out. Oh, I walked really far the other day. I walked all the way downtown, and then I walked all the way back, and I went further than when I went then home too, because I wanted to go up and grab a cup of coffee and yeah, sit in the coffee shop, feel like a human being. Yeah, but yeah, it was really nice. But yeah, now the snow is here. Now it's going to get really cold. I could see it's really, really windy too, because those it's like it's blowing in front of the window. So I hope we don't have a storm tonight. I didn't hear anything about a storm. Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I like all kinds of birds and animals. I actually have some rabbits, tons, like so many rabbits here. Just it's amazing, right? But instead of throwing my vegetables away, I'm trying to recycle a little bit. I'm trying to learn to do that, right? Because I am that save the world person, but I never grew up with that, right? It was just like, open up the garbage pail and throw the garbage in, right? And my dad did composting and stuff, right? With his gardens. My dad liked to garden, right? I don't know. I just find that men tend to love gardening just as much, if not more, sometimes than the women do, right? But yeah, I remember my dad liked to garden. He grew all kinds of neat things, right? But yeah, the rabbits here. But anyway, now I have the kitchen window. I took the screen off, right? So because in the winter I like to just sit there. I have a nice high bench and I sit there and enjoy the outdoors, just sitting at my kitchen window, and oh, it'll be beautiful tomorrow morning when I sit at the window tomorrow morning. But I won't be able to sit there for too long because, like I said, I gotta get cracking. I gotta get cracking tomorrow. So I haven't even made a list yet of things I've got to get done tomorrow. But yeah, yeah, I'll make I make my sister proud, but more importantly, I'll make myself proud, right? All I know is I just can't do it if I don't, if I don't, I mean, I don't have to love, love, love it, right? But I can't be doing something I just can't, that I'm not going to learn anything at. And yeah, at the very least, I got to be able to learn, right? Yeah, I figured that's what you said, Andrew. Did you go to church this evening? Yeah, lots of wildlife. But like I was saying about those rabbits, like two doors down, like yeah, I chop up a carrot, I grab a carrot from the fridge, and chop it up into little pieces, and I'll throw that out my kitchen window, right? And I hope my neighbor doesn't figure out that it's me when he picks this stuff up off the ground. But I only throw enough, and I think the rabbits now have kind of gotten used to that's its spot, right? Because I can see the mouse poops and stuff all over the place. So yeah, I'm figured yeah, he can shout out up at me or something if he's not pleased, if he figures out it's me. But yeah, in this case, I think it'll be much better if I apologize than to ask for permission. Yeah. So now I've got pet rabbits going on. 2 flights down, right? So I put all my shavings and stuff, and I just throw it out the window, and I just sit there, and they bounce around a couple of downs, and and they smell it right away. You could just see them, with their noses up in the air trying to figure, and they're like 2 houses down, right? And it doesn't take them long, and they start finding those little pieces that I throw out there. I enjoy watching them, right? Yeah, sitting at my kitchen window. It won't be long. It won't be long. Yeah. And I'm still getting out and still getting for my walks. But yeah, my phone, the battery, it just doesn't like the cold out there. And that's all I've got to work with right now is the battery in my phone, right? So yeah, I don't know. It's supposed to be a pretty good phone, but yeah, and it hasn't gotten super, super cold. So that's what worries me, that, at -20, my phone is already conking out. And I know it's because of the cold, because twice it happened, right? That way. Yeah. So I'm pretty certain it's because I have my phone mounted on my monopod, but I guess I should leave my phone inside my pocket, right, up against my chest or something, keeping it warm before I decide to whip it out. If it's such as a simple solution as that, then I probably could have figured that one out. Yeah, that's all I have to do is just keep the phone close to my chest until I need it, right? But I was so happy to have, like I like having my internet and my phone data separate, right? I like to use my Wi-Fi from my internet here and just let everything go to Google, right? Everything just automatically just uploads to Google, right? All my photos, all my video and stuff, right? And I don't even worry about it. I just love that Google Pixel. It's such a great phone, right? Yeah. I'm definitely going to stick, because I liked the Galaxy. I really did like the Galaxy, right? And but yeah, I really do much prefer the but I knew I would too. I'm a I'm a bit of a googly myself, right? So I like to keep everything with Google if I can. So I was pleased to get the Pixel. But if you're looking to get a really, really good phone, right? Even if it's just for the securities, right, that Google offers, like, Google is so good with their securities. You always hear these Facebook nightmares, and you get these little emails. Oh, it might have been compromised every once in a while, and you go, oh, but how often do you hear that, from Google? Like, really? Yeah, like, I shouldn't be inviting stuff like that, right? But it says something, for a company like that, right, to have such good security and not to have those stories floating around like that, right? Oh, I had this most beautiful idea, Andrew, when you talk about the seats and stuff. And I saw this picture and I went, I've got to do that. I have this old fashioned long sled. I found it in the back alley. Somebody was throwing it away. I don't think you could really put any serious weight or anything on it because it's so old. It would probably just snap in half. But you remember those long ones, the 5-footer ones, little wooden sleds, right? So it was one of those. So I brought that home, and then I just saw the most perfect idea for it is just to make like a box for it, maybe a box that's maybe 2 feet by 5 feet, right? And you just mount it to the sled, and then you put compartments in it, right? Or even just Tupperware containers, butted up, different size Tupperware containers and then throw peanuts in one and walnuts in another and sunflower seeds in another and pretzels in another, right? You know, like I have places here in the city even where I could just drag a beautiful sled like that, right? And just drag it to a nice spot and then just sit there with my camera, right? And catch all the squirrels and birds and stuff that would come for treats. You can imagine, see the little birds take little crackers or little pretzels and run off with them, right? Or squirrels come up and grab peanuts in the shells, right? So I thought, oh, I've got to do that. What a great video that would make. Like I wouldn't even talk or anything. I would just sit there videotaping all the animals, and I bet you all the animals would come right away. I bet you. Oh, and I put apples, maybe I cut up some cabbage and stuff too, right? And then maybe I could get some deer to come to this beautiful, and maybe I'll decorate it. Maybe I'll put some ribbons and who knows, maybe I'll do something. What's in February, January or February is Valentine's Day, you guys. Okay? That's what I'll do for Valentine's Day. I'll make a video, but I'll make it before Valentine's Day, but I'll post it for Valentine's Day on my YouTube channel, right? And all it will be this sled, and it'll be all the animals that come to the sled to have a Valentine's Day treat. I've got designs floating around in my head already. Yeah, I'll bring that sled up tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do it up like it's the Santa Claus parade or something, right? But I'll put hearts and some lights, maybe, some like lights with battery. That might scare the animals. But you don't know, right? Until you try. Yeah. Just to do it for fun, just to entertain me, right? Yeah. Where's Andrew or where's Owen? Owen here yet? Andrew, you're just yapping away on your own. Yeah, I see people, when like raccoons get hit by cars and stuff and the babies cling to the mothers, right? And like people take these baby raccoons home and it does come natural. You're like the king. You're like the king there, Andrew. Yeah. Yeah, leave it to Andrew. I tell you, Andrew can yap just as much as I can, right? And he's typing it like, and I remember, Andrew, do you remember when you first started coming online with me? Right? And you would send me comments and we started to get to know each other. And finally I sent you my email and stuff and we started chatting before we started like the writing letters and stuff, right? And the cards and stuff. But I remember, you used to complain and grumble how you weren't very good with the computer and how you couldn't type. And yeah, now just look at you, right? Like you're like even 100 times better than what you were at that point, right? And then you just pick that all up naturally, right? But I remember you complaining, right? And you were always apologizing for little mistakes and stuff that you would send, and now it's just natural. It's a big difference. It's a big difference, Andrew. A big difference. Yeah. Oh, which reminded me, I thought of some. I wanted to send Sharon an email today. I wanted to send you, Andrew. I haven't even replied. I saw that message and I didn't reply to that yet. And I wanted to send some like New Year's email. So get a hold of me, people, right? Like, I'm going to be sending out some New Year wishes and blessings and stuff out to my audience, right? I was going to do a little prayer, and then I was going to do a little practice, because I want to for my viewers and stuff. And I thought, oh, how strange would they think I was if I decided I was going to do a little Reiki session on them for, well-being for over the holidays and stuff, because with the cold and all the family events and moving around and just all the action and the stress and the animals and the dogs and the grumbling wives and yeah. And just, the traffic, right? The traffic. Yeah. it gets to be lots at the holidays, right? I didn't have much of it at all this year. Not at all. Like I yeah, nobody cranking at me or anything. Like it went really well. Like there was a lot of effort, and when I wasn't in the room, I could hear it, right? But she says it loud enough, right? So that I can hear, because she knows I'm listening for it, right? But she was really good. She kept it out away from me, right? Like she didn't say it to my face. And if she yeah, and a couple of times that it slipped, right? My other sister would just say, "Come on, it's Christmas." And it just went right back, right? So yeah, Christmas turned out really, really well. How was everybody's holidays? Hi, David. Christmas till January 6th? Like, oh, David, please tell for sure what kind of things, because you would have to have all lots of little traditions in order for it to last till January 6th, right? Here in Manitoba, we have Ukrainian Christmas, right? That comes after Christmas here. We have Ukrainian Christmas, but yeah. Wow. Isn't that awesome to be able to have like almost 2 weeks of Christmas? That just, and that works out good too, right? Like if they just made it so like the whole world had those 2 weeks off, they could look forward every year that those 2 weeks, right? Everybody should have something to look forward to, right? But you got to understand at the same time, right? You can have the world shutting down for 2 weeks, but if you staggered those 2 weeks, right? Just did skeleton crew and just made 1 week cross, right? Then you could do it, right? And then it would be like standard. We were just actually, I can't remember, but we were actually having that conversation, how it is in those countries like Sweden and Norway and stuff, where you pay 50% of your wage, like goes towards taxes, but you get so many benefits, right? Like you can have, like when you get pregnant, you can have like a lady come in, to help clean and do chores and do, runarounds, and you can have that like right away, right? And the streets and everything are super clean, and yeah, and you work 4 days a week, right? You don't have to work 5 days a week. They say those are the most stress-free countries in the world, right? Are those but you pay 50% taxes, right? What do we pay here? I think we pay 14%. That's just 7% tax, and 7% GST, right? Um, yeah, government sales tax. See, I don't follow that stuff, right? But if that's, the government needs that money, to keep the place running. I mean, I don't notice it, right? Like I don't notice them when they're charging me that extra dollar or something with my groceries or whatever. I don't notice that money, and I guess maybe I should pay attention to it, but as long as I don't have anything to complain about how the job that the government is doing, then really, I'm fine with that money disappearing. And also because I am low income, right? Because I am low income, I do get a GST refund quarterly, right? Every 3 months, I get $100 or something back, right? So even if I didn't pay $100 in taxes, which I'm sure I don't on lots of months, right? I don't pay that much just for tax, but I still get that money, right? And it comes in quite handy, right? Yeah. Hmm. That $7,000 that you have to pay, Andrew, you have to pay $7,000. Holy moly! Some people don't even make $7,000 in a year. I hope that's not the case. I never heard of such a thing. Oh, but that's for the medications, right? Or is that the medications, or is that actually to see a doctor? Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. Those systems are oh, William's here. Those systems are really different. And I think they go state to state, are allowed to determine on their own, right? Here it's province to province. Each province has a different way of doing it. I know when I was in when my husband was stationed in Edmonton, the Alberta was like you paid $60 quarterly, I think, and you paid $60, so 4 times a year, and then you would get your insurance, right? Here in Manitoba, you don't have to pay for anything, right? And then usually when you working, your companies have those medical plans, right, where your prescriptions and stuff will be discounted, right? But seniors, yeah, my mother, I think she paid the first $100 a year for her medicines. And then after $100, then the government took it over, right? But she had like bonus plan insurances and stuff. She worked in hospitals, right? So she had the very, very best insurances. When she passed away, like she was making $4,000 a month on those pensions, right? Her hospital pensions and her old age pension and stuff. My mother was doing really, really well. Like if you think that way, right? I never thought that way. I don't know if I was flighty, right? But money has never been important to me. It worries me that it hasn't been that important to me. Like I don't want to have that Mother Teresa syndrome, right? And I feel that, like I would be happy just to have my needs met, right? Not to have to worry about the bills. I feel I have that I don't have that drive for money, money, money. And the only way I think of money is when I need things, right? When I can't go camping, or I can't go exploring, or I can't go visiting other cities, or I can't go to workshops that I want to, or work with the people that I want to, or buy the clothes. Oh my gosh. I've lost so much weight. I have nothing to wear. Everything. My poor underwear look like diapers. That'll be a priority. I have to get some underwear. I can't be wearing those. Yeah, I won't even look proper under clothes pretty soon. There won't even be any point wearing them because they'll be wrapped around my ankles. I'll have to loop a rope through them just to keep them on. Oh, so they don't favor the middle class in the States when it comes to medical? Hmm. Yeah, we have Manitoba is amazing. Yeah. In every aspect, right? There's going to come a time, and I don't think it'll be in the too far future either, that people from different countries will be stumbling over themselves to come to live to this province, right? Just for the wilderness, just for the nature. Like, right? We have like the largest urban forest, and it's right in the city, right? Eight hectares. Hmm. Yeah, of land just in the forest, just right in the city, right? So you can drive out of town like 10 minutes, and then you're in country, right? You're out there. So yeah, it's a really quite an amazing, and yet it has the big cities too, right? So it has everything, right? You know, I don't know why people wouldn't, but lots of people too don't appreciate nature the same way. So I know Manitoba up until the 50s was 80% rural, right? 80% was farm, right? So only 20% was like city life, right? Now it's probably the opposite now, but yeah, we have great medical here. Isn't that something, right? And then what happens is bankruptcy. Hmm. And yet, see, and then, but that money's got to go somewhere. It's like somebody's got to pay that money, right? People are getting this stuff done for free. I mean, they have to have it done, right? But filing bankruptcy makes it so that they could, not have to pay for that, right? But somebody's got to pay for that. The doctors are still getting paid, are they? Or they just suck it up? Oh, they just maybe suck it up as a tax law, a loss, right? They probably get some kind of forms, so it acts as a loss. Yeah. That makes it hard because what that does, it makes the poor people, the people who can't afford anything, and I know medical is mandatory now, so it makes it so they put them in a position of breaking the law when they don't want to break the law, right? They want to follow the rules and everything, but because they're poor, they can't afford to pay for the insurance, which is the law. They have to have the law. It's kind of like here in Canada. Okay, the pot thing, right? Here in Canada, marijuana is legal. What I think is so amazing about the government, federal government here in Canada, because that would have been a big move. The whole world would have been watching them and judging them, right? And what people don't understand is that so many people smoke marijuana, smoke pot for health reasons, for mental health reasons too. People who have anxiety and stuff that smoke pot to relax. I know people who are executives, doctors, nurses, religious people, right? Who smoke pot, right? And pot stores here in Manitoba, they're like outdoor cafes. There's probably like 3 of them in my neighborhood, right? And you don't see bad people or and stuff hanging outside the doors. Like you don't even know that they're there because I think the windows are filmed or something, right? But they're there. But the best thing that the government did was to do that was because it took the shame, right? It took the shame out of smoking pot. Just doing that did wonders, right? For people's mindset, so they're not beating themselves up. They're not feeling bad. They're not feeling like shameful or insignificant people, right? Like it's not like they made those needles and cocaine or crack or I'm trying to think of them all, right? It's not like they're making those things legal, but something that actually has been proven to help people, right? That actually I have seen help people. I've seen pot help people get off those really tough addictions, right? I've seen people stop being alcoholics. But the thing is, when I was gambling, I think I went to Gamblers Anonymous one time, and they said that the Gambling Anonymous and the Alcoholic Anonymous the program is exactly the same, right? And because it was a religious program, I wasn't too interested at the same time. But I remember them saying that all addictions, if you want to go in this program, you have to give up all the addictions, right? And to me, pot was quite often used to beat addictions, right? So if somebody was smoking pot, like how can you ask that them to stop doing that, right? If it was helping them, right? What if that was stopping them from being a bad person, right? I'm a true believer. I think it is a Tibetan mindset, right? But you're responsible for your actions and not your thoughts, right? And if you always keep that in mind when you go through life, right, then you would always take other things and other people into consideration when you move around and bump into these aspects in your life, right? So I don't know how I got on. Oh, right, about the shame, right? So that's what I think is so amazing about the Canadian government being so smart, like smart. And I think they scared a lot of those drug dealers and stuff away, right? Because I'm not sure if they'll be even to be in business. I mean, what doctor or nurse, some respected person of the community who does smoke pot, and there's a lot of them, right? And I think the government, if they were smart enough to set those laws into effect, wouldn't it be amazing to put out an anonymous Canada-wide census, right? I mean, they can tell in the ticket sales and stuff when people go into these stores, I'm sure, right? But to actually understand, the work makeup of the household and stuff, right? To have other information to, tie it all together, it might help somebody, or everybody down the road, right? I don't know. These are my views. I was just really, really happy to see the shame taken away from that, because shame is a terrible, terrible thing to carry around with you, right? Like say if you were a priest, right? And you're taking confessions from people and you smoke pot, right? you know but you're going to one of these houses to buy your pot, and then you go back and you're listening to people who do have serious problems with drugs come to talk to you about it, right? And you could help them so much, right? Because you can relate, right? You can relate on some level, even though it might not be the same kind of drugs and stuff, right? Like you can relate on some level, right? But you wouldn't say anything because of the shame that's attached to it, right? You take the shame away from it. Now you can help, right? Now you can do something. That's the way I see it anyway. Oh, so it pays to be on the system, right? What are opioids, Andrew? Poppies? Drugs from poppies? That's what's popping into my head. See how close I am. Ah, William. Isn't that amazing that you would say something like that? But you know what? I would meet you at the train station or whatever. I don't know how you would get up here if you would fly. Like when Sharon came, Sharon didn't even have a passport. She went through the whole process. She did exercises, right, to build up the strength in her legs, because she knew we would be doing walkings, and we walked every single day. And I actually had to tell her a couple of times to slow down, right? Because yeah, she really enjoyed those walks. Like just the look on her face, you could see how much she enjoyed those walks, right? And yeah, I had to actually tell her to take it easy. She was enjoying them so much, right? Oh, for sure, me and Will, you could do a a live stream. I don't know what my setup would be. You know, I would like to do something bright and cheery. I'm ready for bright and cheery. I don't know. I do a beautiful fluorescent blue. It's just such a pretty powder blue. I should bring some of that blue into the set too, right? Yeah. I don't know. I've got all this space here, right? I don't know what to do with all this space here. I thought maybe I would pick a like when I was doing videos and stuff, that I could pick a word, and then the whole week all my content and all my videos would be just on that word, and then just switch it out all the time. I don't know. I know it needs. Oh, I put all my Christmas ornaments today, and I started another one. You can go, buddy. My sister gave me this one a few years ago. I guess somebody had repaired it. It's that pipe cleaner, right? But this is from the 40s. Look at the wrapping paper inside there, right? I guess maybe at one time it might have had bonbons, candy or something in it. You know, a guy might have given it to his girlfriend or something for Christmas, but his head bobbles, right? Like, did they have bobbleheads at that time? I don't know. Maybe I have the original bobblehead. Oh, I'm sure they did. Probably had all kinds of toys that had springs and stuff with them, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, what's new with everybody? Hey, Owen. You know what? Maybe one day, like I'll do a bus tour, right? Everybody could make it here, and then we could do like bed and breakfasts, maybe a camping site, maybe go up to Churchill and see the polar bears. Like we could rent a bus or something. Well, I don't know if we could get up to Churchill, right? Well, I guess we could if we did it in the winter, but yeah, we'd be doing those ice road trekking things, right? Because we'd have to drive the bus on the frozen lakes, right? In order to get to Churchill, I think. Oh, no, we don't. We can drive to the Paw for the Trappers Festival. Oh, but I can't do that stuff anymore. Yeah, I'm not going to I decided I'm not going to I change all the time. Like I could say one thing today and then tomorrow my mind will be totally switched around and I'll be thinking something totally different. But yeah, I decided that's it for me. I'm not going to be fishing anymore. But I'm thinking now I wouldn't want to go to the Trappers Festival anymore either, right? Because I don't like to see the animals. The animals get hurt. Yeah. I just changing all the time, just changing. Oh, that's nice of you, Andrew. I know you read a lot of books. I know you read a lot of books, Andrew. Yeah. I have a few books myself that I've been meaning to get to. But yeah, and I keep saying this, I got to get to this and I got to get to this and in the end I really don't get to anything, right? Yeah, but been a little bit hard on myself this week, right? And I'm trying not to be hard on myself, but I just don't understand why I can't do certain things, right? Doesn't matter what I do. I've tried so many silly things too, right? Yeah, I did some yeah, I did some silly things just to see, just shake my head. Yeah, but as for novels and stuff, yeah, I don't know if I would enjoy like a story novel anymore. I'm all about I like learning. I like exploring. I do like the stories, but I think it would have to be in videos. I don't think my attention could be held, for that long in a book, right? Because I know if I got into a book, I would just want to, read it from beginning to end without stopping. And I think as soon as I got interrupted, then I wouldn't get back to it again. I've given up lots of books, right? You get like a few chapters in and you're really enjoying about it, but as soon as you put it down, you forget what the story's about, and then it doesn't interest you to go back to it, right? Oh, I didn't tell everybody about going off my diet, right? I went off my diet. I froze the pie. I ate all the mincemeat tarts. So there was like 5 tarts. I ate 5 tarts, but there was butter tarts too. And I ate the butter tarts. I think there were 4 butter tarts. I think the next day I ate 4 butter tarts. I ate the peanut butter cookies, 3 peanut butter cookies. I ate 3 peanut butter cookies. A cow poop, those little chocolate with the peanuts. And yeah, I'm not sure if I ate a whole one, but I did munch into those. And then the next day I pulled out my whole mincemeat pie, and I knew I had till Boxing Day to finish it. So yeah, I didn't finish the mincemeat pie, but I hacked away at it really, really well, right? So it was really hard, right? Because I said I had till 4 o'clock on Boxing Day to cheat, right? To eat what I wanted. And I thought it would go nuts, so but I didn't. I On Christmas Day I had a few crackers and some sausage, right? And I really didn't eat. I didn't really eat that much at dinner time, and I actually meant to take my plate home, right? And I didn't even do that. And then so the next day all I did was have the junk and stuff that I had gotten, right? So I was eating that stuff, and then the bread and the peanut butter, and then whatever was left, I just threw it away because I didn't want to be tempted, right? And sure enough, right? Like every day this week, I'm thinking, oh, Cindy, you didn't make the cornbread. You got all the ingredients. Why don't you make the cornbread, right? Because I've been dying to make this cornbread recipe, and I have the ingredients for it and everything, but I didn't make it. I didn't have time. I had so many treats left over from Christmas. I didn't want anything to waste, right? But I have been fighting on this diet, but I got back on it, right? I fasted for 24 hours. So Boxing Day at 4 o'clock, or it was at 2 o'clock, right? I stopped eating, and then I didn't eat anything until the next day in the afternoon. I didn't eat anything just to, get the system back to normal. But then that night I thought about cheating, and then yesterday I felt about cheating, and today I gave it a thought, but I'm at that stage where now I'm proud of myself again, right? That I was able to get past, because that's what I was afraid of, that I wouldn't be able to get back on my diet. And I think I might have been right. Like if I hadn't, like the little things I had left over, the shortbread and stuff, anything left over, I just kind of made sure I threw it away. Like I didn't leave anything really just kicking around just to tempt me or anything. Mind you, I do have a banana bread in the freezer, right? And I did freeze the sugar cookies, right? But yeah, like really. I'm just reading some of this stuff. But it's a norm, right? Like, yeah, like s- just as many people smoke as don't smoke. But like I said, I'm glad the government, they took the shame away, because the shame was doing the most damage, right? It did the most damage, right? Like, because you had, if it wasn't legal to smoke it, then you would be getting it from the bad people, right? You'd have to go to the corners or go to somebody's house or something, right? And you're a respected person in the community, but you feel bad about yourself because you're going off to do something illegal, right? So yeah, you take that shame away, and yeah, and it doesn't make it so these people smoke anymore or whatever, right? Or it doesn't. And I don't think it's just smoking either. I think you can get like pills and oil and stuff like that too, right? And so I think you can eat it, right? I'm not sure if you can do like brownies and stuff like that. I don't know. But like who cares, right? You just took the shame away from that, right? I'm glad Canada led on that, but I do think they should do an anonymous Canada-wide census, right? To get a real good feel about the population and where the country actually stands when it concerns marijuana use, right? Get some people's opinions and stuff, get some true ideas there, right? Just to make sure that you're on the right track. I think it will help lots of people. I think who've got mental illness. I think it will help there. I think it will help people who have post-traumatic stress disorder, like soldiers and stuff like that, right? That end up being drug deal or drug users or have really bad addictions and stuff. I think, because it wouldn't just help you get off like the bad drugs and stuff, but I think it would help with bad habitual, addictions too, right? So I wonder if it would work with criminals in jail, right? I think it would be more content, would make them more content with their situation, I think, in there, right? So I don't think it would do them any good, right? But yeah, who's to say, like, until you do studies and practice and see how it affects the population, you don't know, right? So but that's my opinion, right? That's my opinion. You know what? I have a aspirational mentor, right? Evan Carmichael, and he always says that your bucket list is your excuse list, right? Living is right now, right? Like every day should be an adventure. Every day should be something that you're striving for to better your life. Like I wake up a different person every single day, right? Try and make a little change for the better. It doesn't always seem that you make progress, right? But I just keep that positive attitude that like you have to just get rid of all the layers, like until you're almost nothing. And I feel like a nothing, right? But yeah, I got a I got a good wake up call this past week and right over the holidays too, right? But I was thinking it will in the end make for a good story. It will, the way it all went down and everything, right? It wasn't my intent, right? But I'm glad it worked out this way because it could have worked out a whole lot worse than it did. So I'm thankful that it's nothing that I can't deal with, right? Yeah, just scrape yourself off the ground, right? Dust yourself off and move forward. It's not going to get better with me just sitting there, right? Just hoping. And actually that was one of my posts this week, right? I just thought that hope never gets you ahead, right? You can never get ahead by just hoping for things, right? The only thing hope will do for you is help you to cling, right? When you think that there's no possibilities, nobody should ever get to the point where there's no possibilities. I actually heard that saying today too. What was that? It was Marie Forello. I was watching a interview that she was in, and she said that there is There is an answer for absolutely everything, and she phrased it just perfectly, right? You know, there's an answer for every problem. There's an answer if you just want to stop and put some thought to it, right? Yeah, but I like dreams, right? Goals. I love goals too, right? Goals. I've never gone wrong. Not once have I gone wrong and said, "Hey, this is my goal. This is what I'm doing. This is what the plan is," right? Having no clue as how to get it accomplished, right? Andrew, having no idea how to get it done and then get it done, right? I did that a few times this year, right? When I went down to Minneapolis and then I went to Toronto, right? There were a few times that I was able to get out of the road and do some back road exploring when there shouldn't have been any possibility, right? The way I've got my tires, right? Those tires would have cost me well over $2,000. I needed those kind of tires, those all-terrain tires for my car, right? Because I am on the back roads and I'm back there by myself, right? I needed good tires, but I couldn't afford those tires, right? And then for me to find those tires brand new, but you like used off a new car, right? But they were brand they were used, but they were on a brand new car. They were brand new tires anyway, and I got them for $250. And then the gentleman put them on my car for $150. So I ended up getting like $2,000 worth of tires for my car. I would never have been able to go to Minneapolis, let alone go to Toronto if I hadn't had those tires, right? My tires were bald. They were getting dangerous, like just getting out on the road. Like I couldn't even keep control of the car, even in four-wheel drive, right? Yeah, the tires were so bald. Yeah, I do a lot of gravel roads, right? Yeah. I don't know. My sister didn't sell the car. I thought that she would have sold the car. She didn't sell the car. She just parked there. I saw it there at Christmas and just kind of it broke my heart a little bit, right? Uh, but my brother-in-law, I don't know. He reminded me this Christmas. He says, "Cindy, you evolved so much. What's going on?" And I told him, he says, "Cindy, you told me last Christmas you were a realist." And I thought about it, and sure enough, I remember telling my nephew that I was a realist. And he says to me, "Cindy, you know, I didn't tell you. I would have told you what happened to me, but you told me you were a realist, so I didn't even bother." And he told me his. Oh my God, my nephew Adrian is like a cross between Plato, like he's a computer. Like his brain is like a computer. He's like Confucius. He's like Cosmos, right? Up in this, like when I was talking him and telling him the ideas and the things I believed in and stuff like that, he had like terminology, like he had words with terminology about the way I thought, like the way I think is not uncommon. Well, it's uncommon. He says, a lot of people aren't going to understand your point of view, Cindy. And I said, well, like nobody ever understood my point of views. There's really is nothing new there, right? I'm just going to find the people that that understand that it takes all kinds to make the world, right? And I'll just find the people that I would accept, and I would know who would accept me for who I am. Like, I have to yeah, this is my life. This is my life, and it did so much good for me. I think it's my responsibility to pass that love on and pass that information on, right? Somebody else might benefit from it, right? You know, like I said, what was that? You're responsible for your actions, not your thoughts, right? And I would much prefer to know what somebody's up to than to not know what somebody's up to. Yeah. And there's so many kind people out there, like so many kind people with fantastical ideas. And yeah, the world needs more of that, right? Like if you're a kind soul, and that just want to better the world, right? In the end, as long as you're contributing, right? as long as you're contributing, yeah, to the betterment of the world. Yeah. I think that's why, I've been able to see so much in the past couple of years, right? Why I was been privy to some of this information that I just happen on to, right? And did I just happen on to it, right? And that was because I loved life so much, because I loved nature so lot much, and because that I was actually curious, right? It was all planned. I'm sure it was all planned, right? I'm sure I had some choices, because I do have free will. I know I have free will, right? So I knew that I had some choices, that I could change some things, but in the end you're still going where you meant to be going, right? So I just enjoy the ride, right? I just enjoy the ride. So far, everything. I just keep following the heart, whatever I'm feeling pulled to, right? Whatever I'm feeling pulled to, I'm going in that direction. And I'm very grateful for all the help along the way. Like, I know sometimes it feels that I'm not grateful, but I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for the people up here, in my chatters, that encourage me and keep me going, right? You know, I wouldn't be doing this without all of you guys, right? You guys give me the courage to think that I can have my views and be appreciated for them, right? And they might, like I said, they might not always be true, right? I change all the time, right? I have certain views, and then I change them, right? I think differently, right? It's just because I'm changing into a different person, right? It's just like, now I don't want to fish. And then my whole life here, like, all I could talk about was catching that 30-pound pickerel, right? And now I'm talking about not even fishing anymore. And then when I designed my retreat to my head, right? I always figured that I'm going to have this resort up north, right, out in the wilderness. It's all going to be powered with solar. It's going to be a place where people can just come and unwind and just hang out with their own kind without the frazzle dazzle of life, right? Just to be able to unwind and relax and do trails and be with nature, and sit on a stone and stare off at the lake, all day and all night, if that's what you want to do, right? But I wouldn't want any fishing at my resort. I wouldn't. No fishing allowed, no hunting allowed, right? So I think I would like to have an island in a lake. I think that's how I would like to have my resort. If you're going to dream, you dream big. And I've dreamed bigger than that, even. That's just one of my dreams. But we were talking about bucket list, William, right? Definitely. You have changed so much, William, in the past year, right? You have opened up and talked about your friends and talked about yourself. We've learned so much about you and everything. Like, William, you've done so amazing in the past year. If you were to be able to get your butt up here to Manitoba, I would definitely, give you a little tour, right? Maybe we could put some friends together and go camping or something. I'm not a drinker or anything like that, so I wouldn't be able to, but I don't mind. Well, I guess I've got a little bit of drinking now and again doesn't bother me. I try not to be judgmental and stuff like that, right? But there's a lot of alcoholism, that's a lot of addictions that run in my family, right? So I need to be able to put it out there that yeah, I would prefer if people didn't drink, right? Because drinking, you can't, Italians, they could sit down and have a glass of wine with their dinner every single day. It's not a big deal, right? But for some people, to come home and have a glass of wine will only lead to another glass of wine, right? Until you pass out. Then you go to work, and then it gets to the point where all you're doing is working, drinking, sleeping, working, drinking, and that's your whole day, right? And then it gets to the point where all you're waiting for is your day off so that you can just drink the whole day, right? Yeah, I've seen what alcohol does to people. Like, it's scary. I've seen people kick it too, right? I've seen people save themselves from the alcohol. I've seen it, right? But it's a hard one to kick, you know? Like I said, I've never been a drinker myself, but I've seen it, right? So I know it's a hard one, and it's hard because it's acceptable. Drinking is acceptable in society, right? But yeah, addictions and bad habits, there's still addictions and bad habits that need to be kicked, right? But when you're kicking a habit, right, it's important to replace it with another habit, even if that habit is, again, marijuana, right? Like, if you are, you know, have addictions and you need to quit them. I do believe that smoking marijuana would help somebody kick something really, really bad, right? You don't want to pick up another bad habit just for the sake of having a bad habit. But if you have a really bad, like if you do needles or alcoholism, like those ones that just destroy lives, right? Like, they destroy not just your life, but the lives around you, right? Because you can never get a grip on yourself when those ones have a grip on you, right? So I would much rather see you have a chance of quitting those things, right? But like I said, you don't start a habit to unless it's an absolute resort, because I remember starting smoking cigarettes when I was 27 years old because I wanted to lose weight, right? And then I ended up smoking cigarettes for, I think, over 10 years. I smoked cigarettes. I smoked lots of cigarettes, right? And I go to bed at night and go, I quit. I'm not going to smoke any more cigarettes. But as soon as you get up in the morning, I would start smoking again, right? But I was very lucky because even though I say I quit at night, I never did quit. I always got up in the morning and had my morning cigarette. But the first time I actually did try to quit smoking, I did. I never had another cigarette, and it's been over 10 years for sure, right? Yeah, over 10 years that I haven't had a cigarette, right? But you say lots of times that you're gonna quit things and then you don't, right? And you have your setbacks. You just got to remember, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up, right? Just get right back on it and just congratulate yourself for being strong enough just to get back to it, right? Yeah, you know. Hmm. It's hard, addictions are a hard one. I had addictions too. I was addicted to Halls for years. I ruined my teeth, right? You know, from the Halls. It was terrible. I was really surprised I didn't burn a hole right through my stomach from eating so many Halls, right? And I just crunched them. Yeah, and they were so acidic, right? And they just rotted my teeth. Yeah, they were just terrible for my teeth, right? But B12 supposedly helps quite well if you have addictions and bad habits and stuff like that. Just if you start taking your B12, it helps you to think better, right? So that maybe give you a little bit, even if it's just 1% of a help or 2% extra help, when you're trying to do your New Year's resolutions, right? New Year's is coming up, right? So maybe you have some of these New Year's resolutions that you want to get cracking on. So whatever little bit extra help that you can give yourself to get the job done, right? Go ahead and do them. Try them out, right? Maybe this is the year that you finally do it. I mean, look at me, 65 pounds, right? And I was a little scared that I wasn't going to be able to get back on my diet, right? But I got back on it right away, and I'm gonna and I said, like, I was talking to myself too. He said, oh, Cindy, you're allowed a treat day once a week. You're allowed a treat day. Why don't you make today your treat day, right? And I was trying to talk to myself like that, right? Trying to get me to come off my diet. And I knew I was trying to give myself permission to do that, right? So I wasn't going to have any of that, but I had to set the goal, right? So I said, okay, well, New Year's Eve, that will be my treat day, right? Because I got to keep my promises once a week, a treat day, right? So I'm not sure it's going to be like all out pig out day, right? Because I'm also afraid of that, right? Because, you give me a treat day, like, oh my gosh, like, I could go out and I could just go into a food court in the mall and I could just try everything at every booth, right? So I haven't quite figured it out. I'm going to have to be strict with myself somehow, right? But yeah, I'll go off tomorrow and maybe go to the grocery store and my sister gave me a grocery store card with money on it for Christmas, which I thought was really nice, right? Because now I can go to the grocery store and buy a few things for New Year's Eve, right? But I'll pick up a bag of coffee and a couple of treats. So maybe tomorrow, or even after our live tonight, I'll give a little bit of thought as to, what kind of treats I want for New Year's Eve and do something nice for New Year's Eve. Yeah, I've been craving pie. I really, really enjoyed that mincemeat pie. Like I really enjoyed that mincemeat pie, right? Yeah. My sister's dessert tray that I didn't eat everything on it, but I hacked away at it a little bit. But I did buy some diet jello yesterday, right? So that I would have some diet jello as a little bit of a treat. I sometimes like to mix the diet jello with yogurt. It's like pudding that way, right? Oh, has anybody tried Balkan yogurt? Oh my gosh, so hooked on it. It's made by Olympic yogurt. Oh my gosh. It's called Balkan yogurt. It's so thick. And it's about like the most amazing thing I have ever tasted ever. Coconut. And the lime one is good too, but the coconut Balkan yogurt made by Olympic. Is it Olympic or Olympia? Might be Olympia yogurt, but oh boy, it's good. Really, really good. Yeah. So maybe I'll get some yogurt. I know it's pretty high in calories. I didn't know it was high in calories and I was eating it on occasion, right? But then I looked at the label the other day when I bought some, right? And I went, oh my God, like really that many calories? Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to the calories, right? I've gotten some good tips because with me, I do coatings and I do condiments, ketchup, mustard, relish, HP sauce, mayonnaise, that kind of stuff, but also condiments, I'll do beets and pickles and banana peppers and onions and stuff like that also, right? But my brother-in-law, I call him my brother-in-law, Tom, my sister's boyfriend, right? He says to Cindy, pork rinds, just crush pork rinds, and you can use pork rinds, right? Instead of flour and stuff as coating, right? Because I like coatings, right? But also I wanted to increase the amount of because I'm really fussy about the proteins I eat. I don't eat enough proteins, right? But I'm fussy about the meat I eat. But I thought if I allowed coatings that I could do things like chicken fingers. I could do chicken fingers. I could do fish and the fit, not the chips, but I could do the coated fish, right? So I can do those kind of things too, right? And and then if I go to a restaurant, like a Chinese food restaurant or something, I could have breaded veal. And I had breaded veal once and it was absolutely amazing. Amazing to have such a wonderful treat on my diet, right? So I would love to do that. Love to do that again soon, right? Well, I'm glad you found your wallet, William. Keep an eye on your wallet, right? Yeah, when I used to go to junior ranks, right? I used to bartend at the ranks, or I'd go up there with my husband and stuff. And, people would always give me their wallets like I was like the babysitter of the wallets, right? Because everybody would be going just to get drunk and stuff. And, They would just give me their wallets, and then they would have to come look for me the next day or something in order to get their wallets back. Yeah. Yeah, but don't be losing your wallet, William. But like I said, yeah, really, really terrific. The way you just, yeah, just like a flower, William. You're just opening up just like crazy. I bet your church is really noticing how you're opening up now too, right? Yeah. I bet you really starting to get more involved with your church. I'm so glad for that, right? Yeah, and I'm so glad that you're talking about your friend like that. Yeah, and thank you so much for sharing his picture with me. Oh, a very handsome man too, right? Yeah. It's yeah, and he was so young, like to die in the 30s, right? That's sad, right? But sometimes, you know, life doesn't get fair like that, but you have to take some kind of lesson out of it, right? You have to, figure out what the lesson is for yourself, right? Because there's got to be something, things like that don't happen, just for a reason, right? Like for no reason at all. So there's a lesson in there for you. And yeah, I hope it's positive, right? Yeah. 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 That's amazing. Amazing, William. I'm so happy for you. Yeah, keeper of the wallets. Yeah, that was me. The guys in base, they loved me, right? Yeah. I don't know why, but yeah, I just felt so welcomed when I was on base. I just felt like part of the family. They just welcomed me in right away. If I needed any help at all, right? If Stu was out in the field and I needed somebody to come, like shovel the snow, I would do it myself. But if I needed somebody to come shovel the snow or like any of them, like they would just come and knock on my door just to check on me to make sure I was okay, right? Yeah. Just pull me in whenever there was parties or picnics or different functions. I loved being part of the military community. I really did, right? And I think it was very good for my husband. I think it was a very good job for my husband. I think my husband needed to feel that camaraderie. Is that what you say? Yeah. So yeah, I really did. I really did. It was the first time I really felt like I belonged somewheres, right? It might have been even the only time in my whole life that I actually felt like I belonged somewheres was, when I was with my husband. It was, yeah, it was really strange to find somebody so like me, but not like me at the same time, right? Because some of the things that we weren't the same in, we were the extreme opposites from each other. And then some things we were the same in, right? And we got along great that way. And then yeah, yeah, it was good while it lasted. I have too, but only because you guys do, right? I can't let you guys open up and then me not be brave enough to do it at the same time, right? And now that I've had that chit chat with my sisters, on occasion when I do need to speak of it, like I know that I can do that and not feel like I'm being gagged, right? And it wasn't like they were gagging me. They were never ever never doing that. It was my own shame and my own guilt from the way I was, taught that, like just to don't talk about it, right? But if my purpose comes from my pain, if my purpose comes from the pain, then I do have to talk about it, right? Because that was my greatest pain, right? Growing up, those years were not fun for me, and they impacted me and made me the person that I grew into be. And yeah, and it's what I'm trying to fix right now. So yeah, it's everything, like it's everything, right? So I do have to talk about it. William, going back to school, that would just be super awesome, right? Yeah, you got yourself what would you take in school? Would you take, like, technical courses, or would they be, like, study courses or trades? Would you do trades, right? I thought about going to school a few times, going back to school, right? Even really recently, like, I was thinking of like, we have a great media arts course here in at the university, or not the university, at the Red River College here. They have a great course, right? And you have to get your applications in by February, plus all your media samples. Well, I've got all my media samples and everything, right? And I have some already. I've built up some of my brands. So, I thought, well, maybe Cindy, that you would get into the course, but then what in the course would teach me that I couldn't learn myself online, right? Or actually, finding work in the industry and just learning on the job, right? And actually doing the job I love, rather than starting from ground one and then having to pay for all that too, because that would all be student loans for sure. And those would be expensive courses because of all the gear. Like, you'd have to be, and there you'd be competing with the person sitting next to you who's got got the red camera, and you're wearing using the M50, right? Yeah. Uh, that's what the camera I probably get is the M50, I think, Canon M50, and I would put that on my monopod because it's nice and light, and I think it would work out really well. Plus, it has the flip screen. I think the M50 has the flip, right? So I'll be able to see when I'm vlogging and stuff too, right? Yeah, because lots of times I use the rear screen and then I can't even tell if I'm getting my head in the shot, right? So let's just look at some of these comments and see what I've missed here. I hope Nancy's having a good time on her holidays, right? Yeah, that's so wonderful for her to get a little bit of, warm, different scenery, right? She so needs that too. But I hope her medical and everything will be okay. If she finds herself that she's got an issue, that everything will be okay. But I'm sure she wouldn't have made that trip if that possibility was really there, right? But then again, she's got a little bit of that what do you call that? Rebel in her too, right? Nancy's got a little bit of rebel in her, and yeah, I know she would push herself if it meant for her to have a little holiday. She would just push a little bit harder, right? So, but hopefully she's doing good, right? January 19th. What day is that, William? Is that close? I can know that we can wish you a happy birthday on your birthday. It's on Sunday. Will you even be on the live? Your birthday is this on Sunday on my live that day. So yeah, if you're home, yeah, that I guess the 19th will be your birthday on my live show there, William. That'll be fun. Oh, Nancy's got a new video up? I'll have to check that. I'll have to check that out, right? I didn't know that. But her videos, I think, are not YouTube videos. Are they YouTube videos, or are they Facebook videos? Trying to think now. I think Nancy had YouTube videos. I'm pretty sure of it. But that was my good cheer for the week. Christmas was good. I got right back on my diet right at this moment. I'm absolutely just starving, right? And I did eat today. I did have 3 eggs this afternoon. I had 3 eggs, and then I had a batted bag of popcorn. Yeah, maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. Oh, and I had some diet jello, right? But still, that's not enough. Maybe I'll make a little something else. Maybe I'll make a tuna salad or something like that before I go to bed, because I do feel like I'm hungry, and I will tomorrow buy some nice treats. I don't know what I'll buy, but I'll buy a couple of nice treats for New Year's Eve. And yeah, this week, yeah, I have to get a job this week. I just have to get a job this week. So let's see what kind of job Cindy's going to end up with. I hope it's exciting, and yeah, I hope I love it, and yeah, I hope it's in the industry that I want to be in, and I hope I'm not disappointed. But that's okay. I'm willing to do it because I knew it has to be done. And yeah, you know, yeah, I gotta follow my dreams, right? Nothing gets done unless I put that work effort in. And yeah, I've got some plans for this spring, and if I really want it to work out for me, then I've got to put that effort in, and now's the time to do that, right? I'm relying on myself, right? I have to rely on myself. Yeah. You're already getting birthday wishes? Well, maybe we won't have that party for you after all on the 19th. That was the 19th, you said, right? I should have circled that. Circle that on here. Michael Williams. William. And actually, it's the first note on my new calendar. My sister buys me these calendars every year, and each one is a picture, right? And my name is somewhere in the picture, blended in, right? And it's my desk. It's my desk calendar, right? And I use it almost every day, but it's the first note that I'm putting in here, and it's William's birthday. There you go. First note. Okay, everybody. 9 o'clock. We're going to call it a night tonight. We'll see everybody next Sunday, and hopefully I have some good news for everybody. If you haven't subscribed, maybe now would be a good time to do that. Hit the notification bell, and the next time I go live, like YouTube will send you a notification, and then you won't miss it. I usually go live Sundays at 7:30, unless it's a holiday. Then sometimes I like to go at 7 o'clock on the holidays. And yeah, come follow me on Instagram too. And yeah, you can see what I'm up to over there. Up to no good. But anyway, have a great night, everybody. Thank you for popping by. And yeah, thank you for popping by, David. Mexico. Love it. Have a great night. Bye-bye.